Welcome to the Catholic Life Coach podcast, where I help ambitious Catholic women overcome fear and self-doubt so that they can boldly step into the dreams God placed in their hearts, live authentically, and grow a business rooted in their faith. I'm your host, Carla Fitz. I am the Catholic Life Coach, mom, entrepreneur, and your companion on this journey of holy ambition. Each week, we dive deep into faith, mindset, business, and identity so that you can live aligned, lead confidently, and create the impact God designed you for without guilt or hustle. If you are ready to stop holding back and start showing up as the woman God created you to be, you are in the right place. Welcome, and let's get started. Hello, my love, and as I promised, today we are releasing a bonus episode so that you have access to day 2 of the Abundance Without Apology challenge. I hope you enjoyed the teaching yesterday, and I am so excited for you to hear today's. Enjoy and wait until the end because something very special is coming for you. All right, enjoy. Today is going to be so good. We're going to learn so many things about how to expand our businesses, how to really step into this version of ourselves that is expanding with God at the center and really allow ourselves to serve to a higher level. Because ultimately, this is truly about serving with so much love, expanding our visions and our missions that we have in the world. Today, we are going to learn so many things, build upon what we built yesterday. Yesterday, we covered desires. Desires are a big part of this process of co-creation because we have to learn to acknowledge them, to recognize them, and to see, okay, which desires are actually from God and what am I being invited into? They are truly a GPS signal towards growth and expansion. The second thing we covered was business as a vocation versus seeing our businesses as, oh, this is kind of like a side hustle. This is our vocation. This is part of our vocation. Just like marriage is a vocation, motherhood is a vocation, the work that we are meant to be doing in this world truly is a vocation that God is inviting us to go step into, expand, and then serve to a higher level and in bigger degrees. The third thing was identity. We have to have this identity shift in order to grow, start stepping into being the person that can hold more, that can co-create more, that can be seen more. I mentioned 3 big things that I see throughout my coaching calls, all my clients, and also things that I truly experienced myself and had to overcome in order to have this beautiful business that we have now. It was income ceiling, so believing that we are limited. So this is how less I can imagine making and the most I can imagine making, and moving that up so that we can co-create more income within our businesses. The second was the hustle mentality, where we go and we try to do all the things. I went through this journey really of following what everybody said I needed to do versus the things that I actually felt called to do. So finding that alignment is truly what co-creates this bigger income. And then the last thing is isolation. Doing it on our own. Business can truly be very isolating if we are not surrounded, and if we are not surrounded by women who believe in possibility, and we can see examples of what's possible, not just for them, but for each one of us. It really creates this discomfort within our nervous system. And so the last thing we covered was normalizing a new reality for us and for our business. All right. So let's just check on what we can expect today. So like I said, today we're working on expansion. In order to expand our income, we're talking about money today. We are going to talk about what creates consistency in our business and also what creates bigger income in our business. And then at the end, I will share an amazing opportunity to take this work deeper together. All right, today we're talking about expansion, and you are not here to stay in your current level. This is why we signed up for this challenge, to really see a new way, a new level of possibility for ourselves, for our income, for our business, and our mission. You are here to expand, like I just said, income, your impact, your peace. This gets to be not created from a place of hustle, but from a lot of peace and alignment and ease. I remember thinking, there's no way I can grow a beautiful six-figure business that creates a lot of abundance from a place of ease. There's no way. I'm like, but that's not physically possible because I was told that I needed to do all the things, to hustle, to grind, to do everything and then some, that businesses had to be a 24/7 thing, and it does not have to be. It can be, and we can absolutely build from that place, which is not what I'm here for and not what I want to encourage you to do. Because if you think of our beautiful Savior, how many times did we ever read about Jesus being, I'm sorry, I have too much to do, I don't have time for you, right? He was the most beautiful example of ease, of flow, of being able to just trust God and still show up to be co-creating. And this is all something that I want to invite you to practice, is that we need to do this not losing our faith, not sacrificing our families, not sacrificing ourselves, our time, and most of all, that relationship with God, because truly what co-creates all of this is uniting ourselves. Because again, the word co-creation is not just by yourself, but we're really truly doing it with Him. So today we need to just talk about money. I think for so many of us, such a dirty word. We're always like, oh my word, I don't want to talk about money. We've grown in families, in surroundings that don't feel comfortable talking about money. We are afraid of what other people may think. And we give money a meaning that does not serve us. But the thing is, the meaning we give money is what's going to create certain emotions within us that then shows up in how we show up. It shapes how we show up. It shapes how we are acting. And it also creates our result. We can't detach what we believe from what we're creating. It always ends up being a proof of concept for what we believe. So yesterday we talked a little bit about if we believe that money is hard, it's going to be hard. We believe it's going to take time, it is going to take a long time, mostly because we're having emotions and then acting from those. I want to invite you to just simply, with a lot of gentleness, kindness, curiosity, let's check what our relationship looks like right now. Money needs to be seen as a relationship. Most of the time when I coach, I hear these thoughts. Money's not a priority. Money's not important. If I make too much of it, I will lose my humility. I'm not good with money. I'm especially not good with big money, right? Like, can't handle that. Money corrupts people. Money's inconsistent. There's never enough. Imagine for a second that this is you and someone else, a relationship that you have in your life. And imagine you're telling that person, you're not a priority. You're not important. If I have too much of you, I'm going to lose my humility. I'm not good with you. You corrupt people. You're inconsistent. You never show up enough. What do you think that person would feel? Shame, horrible, useless, doubt, hurt, anger, not appreciated. This is how we show up towards money. So if you can put, instead of a person on it, these emotions that you think that person's feeling when you share that with them, that's actually the emotions you feel when you talk about money the way we talk about money. We feel frustrated, scared. We feel frustrated. We feel shame or hurt, doubt, useless, because we're telling ourselves we're not good with it. It's not safe to have it. And those are the feelings that are actually co-creating these results. This is what we're seeing, these current results that we don't fully like yet. But as a contrast, I really want to invite you to what if we saw money as a spiritual tool? I'm going to let you sit there for a second. Because money has been seen as this terrible thing. Money is the root of all evil. It's stressful. It's dangerous. If I have too much of it, I can't control myself. I'm going to lose being a good person if I have it. But my love,
money is neutral. Okay? Money can actually be seen as a spiritual tool. It's a resource. It's a multiplier. It's an impact amplifier. The problem has never been money. It's the meaning we give it. I want you to imagine that money is a book. You're going to imagine the book is in front of you, and we're just going to get very curious with ourselves. This book is not doing wrong, it's not doing good, it's not doing awful things, but depending on the thought we have about it, that's what we're going to create. So if we have a book in our hands, we can absolutely use it to read it, to gain knowledge, to grow, or we can use it to hit someone with it. That's how we know money is neutral. It is not meant to be stressful or dangerous or evil, but it can absolutely be used for it. But the thing is, we need to recognize that we have power over it. So we have to do this reflection. I would love to invite you here. I want you to think of when you think people can't afford it, money is tight right now, I don't want to be pushy, this might not work, whether that is your business, your offer, your idea, I can't afford it. Have you ever thought these thoughts? Or any of them? Yeah, I think this is something that we 100% struggle with. What do you feel when you practice those thoughts? My guess is that we go into hesitation. We hold back, we hide away, we stop selling fully. And ultimately what we end up creating is we don't provide the value that our people need. We hide from the potential we have. I always love thinking that we have a ripple effect to create in the world, right? We have an opportunity to create a negative ripple effect, or we have an opportunity to create an incredible ripple effect. And we need to choose. Do we keep going into hesitation, holding back, and not selling, not serving fully? Because ultimately when you sell, you are serving, okay? This is what's creating the inconsistent income. It's not because it's true. It's not that the money is inconsistent. It's because we've been practicing that it is. We've been telling ourselves and acting from that place of not having consistent income, of not being worthy. I definitely did this in a recent launch, didn't want to bother my people with my offer. And even though it truly helped people, it really is a disservice to believe that we are not good with money, and why healing this relationship with our income and our business and how we see ourselves with more income really affects the ripple effect we're creating in the world. This isn't just about us, it is about how we're showing up for our people. Okay? I want you to consider this. What will you be able to do when you co-create that abundant income God is placing in your heart? And I want you to notice two things. Again, it is not limited, it's abundant. And notice that I said God is placing it in your heart. It is a desire being placed there by Him to grow you, to expand you. What things will you be able to do that you're not quite able to do yet? Or is there something? And I want you to imagine abundantly, not like a little more, but abundantly, what you are feeling called to co-create with Him. What will you be able to do? Bless my family. A schedule that allows me to fully be present with my kids. Expand my business. This is something I want you to really step into, because I am on a mission. Because I feel like we need more money on the hands of really awesome people. I think we spend so much time worrying that money is going to corrupt us, that money corrupts people, versus welcoming it, being okay with receiving all the abundance God has for us so that we can make a bigger impact in the world. Let's talk about how income is actually created, how it grows. In order for our income to grow, it is super, super important to go through these 3 steps. The first is an identity upgrade, which we started yesterday. Is healing our inner world. Our thoughts create our feelings. Feelings are driving our actions, and our actions are ultimately creating the results. If you're practicing to be like, I can't hold it, if you're not practicing, I'm not worthy, you're going to feel a very different way that if you started to believe the truth, which is, I am a woman that believes I am meant to do this. I am good with money. I am safe to expand. I am worthy. What kinds of feelings show up for you when you're hearing those thoughts? Trust, excitement, expansion, motivation, eagerness, joy, validation. The next one is capacity. Because there is a process that needs to happen. One is inside of our inner world, our mind. And then the next step is the capacity for expansion, which is what we're actually able to hold. Is normalizing things in our nervous system, because our nervous system needs to be able to regulate and normalize more visibility, more leadership, and income. We need to be able to hold it instead of pushing it away. This is kind of what happens when people win the lottery. All of a sudden they have all this money that they don't know how to handle. They don't know how to react to it, how to treat it well, how to take care of it. And then they end up spending it all because they don't have the capacity to hold more yet. And this is why this is such a journey that God is inviting us into, because He's asking us to become that person. Right now, He's giving us all that we need to be able to co-create with Him. But as we step into this journey, we really are becoming the person that has the capacity to hold more. We act, think, and feel differently. The next part of this one is the upgrading our surroundings. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, but truly the people that you spend time with and you surround yourselves with is truly who you become. And it's in moments of an opportunity for inspiration. We see what's possible. We need to find those people that say, that we look at and we think, you know what? If they can do this, so can I. And the third piece is alignment. So important to have a strategy. But strategy is not everything. And you can have all the strategy in the world and not execute it because we don't have the identity, the capacity, and we are not quite in alignment within our actions. How we build our businesses matter. If we build a business based on hustle and grind, that's what we are going to end up creating and growing. Which, by the way, is not what we want. We do not want to grow more hustle. Imagine hustle multiplied, right? Not what we want to do. We want to build from the beginning and where you're at on purpose towards the future. So courage over comfort. This is where we get to really step into doing things that feel scary, but are in alignment with the person God is calling us to be. Having a clear offer, simple system, consistency over perfection. This one is huge. So many of us get so stuck on perfection. We get stuck on, well, it's not quite ready, so we never put it out. Well, what if this doesn't work, right? And we never put it out. And then the last thing is willingness to take courageous and aligned actions. This is where having someone that says, hey, you need to do this, this, and this, and that, and it'll happen. This is why that doesn't work. It's because it's not in alignment with the person that we are. It's not in alignment with our gifts, our calling, and what we desire to do. I shared with you guys a little bit about yesterday that I could have chosen to not start the podcast because people were like, nope, you should not start the podcast right now. But my heart felt so called to start the podcast. I have an amazing client that felt so called to do podcast, a couple actually, that felt so called to do a podcast. And I'm like, if this is what you feel called to, do it. Because this is how God is leading your heart individually. But it's going to have discomfort, but it's going to also empower us and uplift us because it's in alignment with who we are and who we're becoming. Let's talk about why you are not there yet. This is so important. So many people get so focused on fixing the problem. And I want you to imagine that you are like a tree. And I actually love this analogy because I always heard money doesn't grow on tree. And on trees, like it doesn't grow on trees. I'm like, no, I think it actually kind of does, because with this analogy is where we need to focus our attention in order to expand. If you can imagine the fruit of the tree being your business results, so income, more money, right? We get so focused on, I want this fruit to be good. I want this fruit to be productive, to provide. And we're like, okay, how are we going to fix that? Then we move to checking into the branches, which is the how. It's the strategy, is there must be a brilliant one thing, one way in which this is going to be fruitful. But what people don't spend time looking in is the roots. And if you can imagine a tree, if the roots are rotten, if the roots are not healthy, the tree cannot produce good fruit. And no matter how much we look at the branches and we water the plants, if we never look at the roots, we get stuck because we are not working in our inner world, mindset, our identity, processing our emotions, and our relationship with God. Now, when we focus our identity on these roots, what happens is the fruit, of course, becomes good. It becomes fruitful, okay? Because we're really healing the true core of the problem, which is our identity. We're actually looking at how do we think? What are we choosing to believe? How are we identifying ourselves? We are allowing our body, our mind, our whole being to be okay with the emotions that are coming up with us, to realizing that emotions are actually really good for us to experience. And we don't just get to experience bad and good emotions, we get to feel all of it, because that is the full spectrum of life. That's when you know you're living into an authentic, abundant life, is you allow yourself to feel all the emotions possible. And expansion is a big one. Expansion sounds beautiful. It's like, oh my gosh, it'd be so great to expand. But it's quite uncomfortable. I want you to think, when you started this business, did it always feel amazing? My guess is that some moments it felt incredibly connected and some you were scared. What I want you to take away from this moment is how important it is to heal from within. It's what changes everything. Okay? So you can probably see where this is heading, because it is so important to heal from within. This is why coaching is everything here. You cannot outthink your own blind spots. You simply can't. I have a coach. My coaches have coaches. They need a coach, because we are not able to understand what's happening within us. Coaching shows you the hidden beliefs running your money patterns. We all have a blueprint within us. Blueprint that was likely created before you were 8 years old. All of us have a set of beliefs that run the show in the back end. So we have thoughts that are on purpose that say, I want to create more. I'm just going to create this visual for you. I want to create more income. I want to grow. I want to create my impact. I want my mission to grow. But then we have conflicting thoughts that say money isn't good. I'm not good with it. I'm not safe with it. I'm not good enough. I'm not ready. Maybe someone else should do it. And then we create this insane conflict where one's pulling one way and the other one's pulling the other way and the one is pulling the other way. And this is what creates that resistance and why we can't fully grow into the person God is inviting us to be, because we have this internal fight. And especially within our faith, I think it's so strong that we're afraid of growing our financial freedom because we feel like it goes against our faith. And this is why this work is so important, because we need to recognize that it is God's invitation, that money is neutral, that what we do with it makes the difference. What we believe about it makes the difference. Coaching interrupts the thoughts that are creating the inconsistency. So one of the things that happens within coaching is that we create this showing up, getting help, asking for help, recognizing new things, recognizing new patterns. And the more you interrupt it, the faster you change. And our minds are so elastic. They are in constant change. We just need to feed our mind something that helps us expand versus being stuck believing the lies. And for the record, especially after the last couple of days of insane amount of attack with all the technology and all the emails, I truly believe that this is where the devil loves to have us, in confusion, in stuck, in impossibility, in not trusting God fully and abundantly. He loves to have us there because we bother him less there. The moment that we start stepping into this new version of ourselves, when we start creating a completely different ripple effect, especially as Catholic women, it really annoys him. And so the more we step into this truest version of ourselves, the more we can serve and the better we can serve. It helps you practice a new way of thinking until it becomes natural. Eventually, those patterns will be interrupted so many times that you will no longer believe it blindly. And that's what happens to all my clients. They start recognizing, wait, I'm finding myself thinking differently. I'm finding myself, wait, maybe it is possible for me. And all of a sudden, I had a client text the other day and she's like, I just signed my biggest client yet, Carla. And it was after realizing that, wait, maybe there is a way in or a life in which I am good with big money. I am good with more expansion. I'm safe. The devil doesn't want us to think abundantly or recognize all that we have to offer in the world. And he's like, no, I don't want you to. So we're here doing it anyway.
If these teachings have been resonating with you, then chances are you belong inside the Abundant Catholic movement. I created this movement because God truly called me to help more Catholic women entrepreneurs succeed in business. Inside the movement, you will learn how to build consistent, God-aligned income without feeling burnt out, guilty, or alone. We do it through Catholic business coaching and a community of other Catholic women entrepreneurs. If you have been feeling called to more, but your income is not consistent and your business is not reflecting it, it's because you keep finding yourself in the same cycle. You have days where you feel on fire, clear, confident, ready to go all in, and then suddenly fear, doubt, and worry take over. And then you wonder, why does it feel like everyone else can do this, but I can't? You are tired of doing it alone. And deep down, there's even a little bit of fear of what could happen if it goes well. If I succeed, will I be able to handle it? And this is why we hesitate. You start overthinking, holding back. And that is causing your income to get stuck. And it's keeping you from fully living out your calling. The Abundant Catholic movement is where we stop second-guessing ourselves, come out of hiding, and learn how to grow a consistent God-centered business with real support and direction. And if you are ready to co-create an abundant life with God at the center and surrounded by inspiring women, then come join us inside the Abundant Catholic movement. All the details are in the link in the description, and I cannot wait to see you inside. Oh, and if all of the support that is inside, which by the way you have to go check out, wasn't enough, if you join by Monday, April 20th, you will actually get 3 big bonuses. The first is a one-on-one session with me where we will dive deep into your business, see what's working, what's keeping you stuck, what we can do to make it better, to increase your income. The second thing is you are going to get access to an audit to get very clear on what's working and what's not working in your business so that we don't waste any more time doing things that are not working. And the third is you will have access to a very special class that we are going to be hosting inside of the program to help you get clear on your offers. It's going to help you decide who you're serving, how you're serving them, and how to talk to them. It's going to be an incredible journey together. Come and join us.